Welcome to the deep dive. Ready to explore AI? Seems like it's the topic on everyone's mind these days. We've got a ton of your requests to dig into AI, lots of articles and research, so looks like you want to go beyond just the hype.
And the thing is, AI is more than just code and chips, you know? It's a story that goes way back through history, philosophy, even ancient myths.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Ancient myths.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. Think about the ancient Greeks and their stories about those, what were they called? Automata, mechanical beings that were supposed to act like humans. It wasn't just fantasy though, right? I mean, it shows how long humans have been fascinated by the idea of creating something intelligent.
So the idea of creating something intelligent isn't new. We've been thinking about this for centuries.
Exactly, and it really got going in the 17th century with philosophers like René Descartes. He thought about whether machines could actually think. These early thinkers, they really laid the groundwork for AI as we know it.
Okay, so we've got ancient myths and philosophers, but when did things start to get a little more, scientific? Well, a big turning point was Alan Turing in the mid-20th century. His paper in 1950, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, it kind of changed the question from can machines think to how can we tell if a machine is acting intelligent?
So he basically came up with a test, right? The Turing test.
Exactly. Turing said if a machine can talk so naturally that a human judge can't tell it's a machine, then we should consider it intelligent.
It's amazing how a simple test from so long ago still influences how we think about AI.
It really shows Turing's vision. And just a few years after his paper, AI officially became a field of study.
That was at the Dartmouth conference in 1956, right? I saw that mentioned in some of the articles.
Yep, that conference is basically the birthplace of AI as a field.
Hmm.
It brought together big names like John McCarthy, who coined the term artificial intelligence, and Marvin Minsky, who was a pioneer in neural networks.
So things really take off from there.
There was definitely a lot of excitement and optimism. Early AI programs were making progress in things like playing chess and processing language. It seemed like the possibilities were endless.
And I'm guessing that's when those chess programs that could beat humans came about.
Exactly. They were a big deal at the time and showed how AI could solve really complex problems. But those early programs were based on rules. Programmers had to code every single move or situation.
That sounds really tedious and time-consuming.
It definitely was, and it had limitations. These systems were good at specific things, but not as flexible or adaptable as humans. They couldn't learn or handle new situations, which eventually led to...
Let me guess. The AI winters. I keep hearing about them, but I'm still not totally clear on what they were.
Basically, think of periods where things stalled and people got disillusioned, like a tech version of the Dark Ages. All the hype around AI couldn't make up for what the technology couldn't do. Funding dried up, research slowed down, and people started wondering if AI would ever live up to the promises.
So AI didn't just go away. It went through cycles of ups and downs.
Exactly. The first AI winter hit in the 70s because of those unmet expectations and just not enough computing power. And another one happened in the late 80s and early 90s when the enthusiasm died down again.
Something must have changed to bring AI back, though. What happened?
The 21st century brought a perfect storm of factors that brought AI back to life. Computing power exploded and the internet took off, which gave AI tons of data to learn from.
So big data became a thing, and suddenly AI had what it needed to take off.
Precisely. And importantly, there was a new approach to AI. We moved away from those rigid rule-based systems to something that could learn from data. Machine learning.
Ah, machine learning. I hear that everywhere now. But can you explain it? What makes it so different from the old AI systems?
Imagine teaching a computer to learn from experience, not by programming every rule. That's the idea of machine learning. It's about algorithms that analyze data, find patterns, and make predictions, all without specific instructions.
So it's like giving a computer the tools and letting it figure things out on its own.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And within machine learning, a really powerful subset emerged. Deep learning.
Deep learning. Now that's a term I hear all the time, but I'm not sure everyone really gets it.
Deep learning uses artificial neural networks, which are inspired by how the human brain works, to process information. These networks have connected nodes, like neurons, that learn and adapt based on the data they see.
So instead of programming rules, we're basically creating a system that can learn like our brains do.
Exactly. And this ability to learn from huge amounts of data is what's driving all these amazing advances in AI we're seeing now.
This is where things get really interesting, right? Deep learning is behind some of the most mind-blowing AI we're seeing today.
Absolutely. From self-driving cars that can navigate complicated environments to voice assistants that understand what you're saying, deep learning has changed everything.
Okay, I'm ready to dive deeper into these applications. Let's see how deep learning is changing the world. Where do we start?
Well, let's look at self-driving cars. Before deep learning, it was pretty much impossible to program a computer to handle all the complexities of driving, recognizing objects, predicting what pedestrians will do, reacting to surprises. But deep learning changed all that.
I can just picture those self-driving cars cruising around, making decisions on the fly. It's like something from a sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
but it's becoming reality.
And that's just one example. Voice assistants like Siri and Alexa use deep learning algorithms to understand speech, translate languages instantly, even compose music. We couldn't have imagined these things a few decades ago.
It's incredible how fast things are changing. But deep learning isn't just for these everyday things, right? It's impacting all sorts of industries.
Oh, absolutely. Healthcare is another area where it's making a big difference. Imagine AI systems that analyze medical images with crazy accuracy, picking up on things even experienced doctors might miss.
That's pretty remarkable. What other industries are being reshaped by deep learning?
Well, take finance. Deep learning algorithms are being used to analyze market trends, manage investments, and even catch fraudulent transactions really accurately.
Sounds like Wall Street is getting an AI makeover.
It's happening already. And the legal profession is also going through an AI revolution. Deep learning is being used to go through mountains of legal documents, do research, and even predict case outcomes.
So lawyers might soon be using AI assistants to help them with all the complicated legal stuff.
It's a fascinating shift, and these are just a few examples. Deep learning is changing everything from transportation and logistics to manufacturing and retail. It's really a game changer across the board.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how widespread deep learning is. But let's talk about the new kid on the block, generative AI.
Ah, yes. Generative AI. It's the latest wave of AI, the one making headlines and sparking excitement, and maybe a little worry, too.
Exactly. It's the stuff that seems straight out of science fiction. AI that can create realistic images, write stories, and even compose music.
And it's all thanks to deep learning. Generative AI models, like DLA for images and ChatGPT for text, they learn from massive data sets and then create new stuff that looks and feels just like what they've been trained on.
So it's like they're absorbing information and then using it to make something totally new.
That's it. And this has huge implications for creative industries and just for how we interact with information and technology overall.
Right, generative AI definitely deserves its own deep dive, but let's stick with how AI is impacting real-world industries right now.
Good idea. We've just scratched the surface of how AI is changing how we work, live, and interact with everything around us.
And speaking of changing the world, I'm especially interested in how AI is changing customer service. I've read about AI systems replacing human agents.
Yeah, that's a big trend, especially in businesses that have lots of customer interactions. Companies are finding that AI chatbots and virtual assistants can handle simple questions, solve problems, and even give personalized advice really effectively.
I recently read about Klarna, the Swedish company, and their experience with AI customer service. It's really something.
Right. Klarna has successfully used an AI system to replace a lot of their human customer service agents. It handles millions of interactions, resolves queries quickly, and frees up human agents for more complex issues.
I'm trying to imagine a world where we're talking to AI for everything. Ordering food, booking flights, getting technical support. It's fascinating, but a little unsettling too.
It's a big shift, and it's happening quickly. But it's not just about replacing jobs. It's also about creating new opportunities and making the customer experience better.
So it's not just winners and losers. AI can make new jobs and improve things, which could mean better service and lower prices for us.
That's the potential, but we have to be aware of the challenges too. As AI gets smarter, we need to make sure it's designed ethically, with transparency, fairness, and human oversight.
That's an important point. We can't just blindly embrace AI without thinking about the downsides.
Absolutely. As AI becomes more a part of our lives, we need to have open and honest conversations about its benefits and risks.
I think that's a perfect way to move into the next part of our AI deep dive.
Definitely. Let's explore the future of AI and think about some of the key things to consider as this technology continues to evolve so rapidly. So we've looked at AI's journey from ancient myths to this deep learning revolution. But where's it all going? What does the future hold with all this incredible innovation?
That's the big question, isn't it? And to be honest, all the stuff you sent, the articles and research, it paints a picture that's both exciting and a little overwhelming.
It's true. AI is advancing so fast, and it's only getting faster. To understand where it's going, it helps to think about AI in two ways. There's narrow or specialized AI, which is what we mostly see now, and then there's this idea of artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Okay, break that down for me. What's the difference between narrow AI and AGI?
Narrow AI is what we use every day. It's algorithms that are great at specific tasks, like playing chess, translating languages, or recommending things to buy. They're super powerful in their own areas, but they don't have the broad intelligence that humans do.
So narrow AI is like um, a chef who can make amazing food but can't do your taxes or write a book.
Perfect analogy. AGI, on the other hand, is the idea of a machine that's as smart as a human in lots of different areas. It's the kind of AI we see in sci-fi movies, the kind that can learn, reason, and solve problems just like us.
Now, that's both exciting and a little scary, to be honest. Are we even close to AGI?
That's a question that gets a lot of debate. Some people think we're just a few decades away, others think it's centuries off, or maybe even impossible. The truth is, we're still figuring out how to create something like that.
So for now, we're mostly dealing with narrow AI, which is already having a huge impact. What are some of the areas where we'll see the biggest changes soon?
One area that's ripe for disruption is healthcare. Imagine AI that can diagnose diseases super accurately, but also create personalized treatment plans, predict how patients will do, and even help surgeons with complicated operations.
Wow, it sounds like AI could become a doctor's best friend.
Exactly. And the benefits could be huge. We're talking about finding diseases earlier, more effective treatments, and maybe even cures for diseases that we can't cure now.
That would be amazing. And what about other industries? We talked about finance and law earlier. How will they change with AI in the coming years?
In finance, AI will have an even bigger role in managing investments, assessing risks, and automating those complicated financial transactions. Think about algorithms that can make super fast decisions based on tons of data, getting the best returns and avoiding losses.
So AI traders might become the norm on Wall Street?
It could definitely happen. And in law, AI is going to revolutionize legal research, analyzing contracts, and even how lawyers plan their cases. Imagine AI that can go through millions of documents in seconds, finding relevant precedents and loopholes.
It sounds like AI could be a game changer for lawyers, freeing them up from all that tedious work and letting them focus on the big picture strategy.
Exactly. And these are just a few examples. We're going to see AI impacting just about every industry in big ways, from manufacturing and farming to transportation and education.
Okay, so the potential upside of AI is huge, but we can't ignore the potential problems and worries. One of the biggest fears I hear is about jobs being replaced. Are robots going to take all our jobs?
It's a valid concern. As AI gets smarter, it's bound to happen that some jobs, especially those with a lot of repetition, will be automated.
We've already seen that in factories and customer service. What happens to the people who lose their jobs to AI?
That's something society needs to figure out. We need to think about retraining programs, helping people learn new skills, and maybe even new social safety nets for those who are affected. It's not a simple problem, but it's one we can't ignore.
It sounds like a big societal shift is coming. We might need to rethink our whole approach to work, education, and social support.
It's definitely possible. And along with job losses, there are other concerns we need to think about. One is the potential for bias in AI systems.
I've read about that, the idea that AI algorithms can pick up biases from the data they learn from, and that can lead to unfair decisions.
Right. If the data used to train an AI system reflects existing biases in society, the AI will probably keep those biases going, which could lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
So, for example, if an AI system used for hiring is trained on data that shows a history of bias against certain genders or races, it might end up recommending candidates that fit those bias patterns.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to make sure that AI systems are developed and trained with fairness and inclusion in mind. We have to be careful about the data we use, watch out for bias, and have ways to fix any unfair results.
It seems like building ethical and responsible AI systems is a really tough and ongoing challenge.
It definitely is. And it needs collaboration between experts from different areas like computer science, data ethics, law, and social sciences. We have to make sure AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a few.
Okay, so we've got job losses, bias concerns, and the possibility of AGI happening soon. It's a lot to think about, honestly.
It is, but it's also really exciting. We're living in a time of incredible technological change that could completely transform our world. The important thing is to approach it with a sense of wonder, but also with some caution.
I like that. Wonder and caution.
Mhm.
Two key things to remember as we navigate this uncharted territory of AI. But before we get too lost in the future, let's come back to the present. What are some practical takeaways from all this from someone who's just trying to understand AI today?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing is to realize that AI isn't some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, it's real, and it's affecting our lives in so many ways, often without us even noticing.
It's in our phones, our cars, our homes, our jobs. It's shaping how we get information, make decisions, and even how we talk to each other.
Exactly. And another important point is that AI is always changing. What's cutting edge today might be ordinary tomorrow. That's why it's so important to stay informed and keep up with this technology.
So don't just ignore it and think AI is only for tech experts to worry about. It's going to affect all of us. And the more we understand it, the better prepared we'll be for this rapidly changing world.
Absolutely. And finally, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool. It can be used for good or bad, and it's up to us as a society to make sure it's developed and used responsibly, ethically, and to benefit everyone.
So it's not about being scared of AI or just accepting it blindly. It's about understanding its potential, both good and bad, and actively shaping its development to
Mm.
create a future where AI helps us and empowers us to solve some of the world's biggest problems.
Well said. And that leads to a crucial question. What does all this mean for you, the listener? How can you get ready for this AI-powered future?
That's the question that's been on my mind this whole time. We've covered so much, the history of AI, the amazing advances in deep learning, generative AI, and now we're talking about a future where AI could change everything. Healthcare, finance, even just daily life. It's a lot to take in, honestly.
Mhm.
So where do we go from here? What can regular people do to get ready for this AI-powered world?
It's a great question, and I think everyone should be asking it. The first thing is awareness, like we talked about. Don't be afraid to learn about AI, even if it seems complicated. There are so many resources out there, like online courses, articles, and videos that explain things in a way anyone can understand.
You mentioned some resources before, the 365 Data Science YouTube channel and Coursera, right? Those sound like good places to start.
Definitely. And besides just learning about it, think about how AI is already affecting your life. Notice how it's used in the things you use every day. Do you use a voice assistant? Shop online and get those personalized recommendations. See any AI features in your car or appliances?
I'm starting to realize that AI is already everywhere. It's not some far-off thing. It's part of our lives now.
Exactly. And as you become more aware of it, start asking questions. How's this technology being used? What are the good things about it? What are the potential problems? Who's making it and why?
So we need to think critically. We can't just passively go along with whatever AI does.
That's right. And as you learn about AI, think about how you can use it to your advantage. Are there AI tools or resources that could help you at work or in your personal life? Could AI help you learn new skills, automate some of your tasks, or make better decisions?
It's not just about understanding AI. It's about using it to improve our own lives, too.
Exactly. And lastly, I think it's important to be part of the conversation. Talk to your friends, family, and coworkers about AI. Share your thoughts, your worries, your hopes. The more we talk about it openly, the better we can shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
It sounds like we're all in this together. AI isn't just for tech people to figure out. It's a challenge for all of us. And we need everyone's ideas and input.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, this is only the beginning. AI is still developing, and the future is full of both possibilities and unknowns. By staying informed, being critical, and staying curious, we can all play a part in creating an AI-powered future that's both beneficial and reflects our values.
So it seems like our deep dive into AI has been quite a journey. We've explored its history, its current impact, and the potential it has to change our world in ways we can only imagine.
It has been a really fascinating exploration, and I think the main takeaway is this. AI isn't something to be afraid of or to blindly trust. It's a powerful tool that, if used wisely and ethically, can open up amazing possibilities and help us solve some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
So let's approach the future with curiosity, a healthy dose of skepticism, and a commitment to shaping an AI-powered world that's both innovative and good for everyone. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep this conversation going.